All right, be honest. You knew I couldn't wait very long until I got into the Luka highlights, right? I mean, come on. How could I not? How could I wait? How could I wait to show more Luka highlights? Yes, we featured Seth Curry. Yes, we featured Justin Jackson. Yes, we featured DeLon Wright. All pivotal players. But I had to give some love to our Rookie of the Year, the reigning Rookie of the Year, and the face of this franchise, the undisputed face of the Dallas Mavericks, now that Dirk Nowitzki has gone to that sunrise in the sky, that basketball court in the sky. He's not dead, but he's retired, so his basketball life is dead. I mean, he literally said himself he hasn't picked up a ball since his last game. He's put on about 20 pounds, which he's happy with, which cool, good for you. By all means, you've earned it. And he'll never play anything like the Big Three basketball league or anything like that. He's done with that part of his life. I am off in the wilderness. Sorry, I get going about Dirk sometimes. It's still real to me, damn it. So we're going to focus today on some Luka Dončić highlights and give you the best from the Rookie of the year. Let's get it. Start with the Portland shot in the corner. Oh! Oh my God! How did he do it? I almost don't want to talk over Mark Followell there because that's such an iconic call. He's like literally like slapping the paper down on the table like, that is Luka magic! Oh, the crossover jam on two Nuggets. Oh, it's such a shame. It gives Dallas a 1-point lead. It's such a shame he misses the free throw. Denver ends up winning this game at the buzzer, but good God, man, nobody thought he was going to go dunk on him. They thought he was going to go lay up a finger roll or something. He's like, nope. Oh, the wraparound through the back of the legs into a fall away. Ooh. Ooh. Here's a half-court buzzer beater with 3 seconds on the clock. It's an impressive shot, but I wonder why he didn't get a little closer for it. Like, dude, you released that when you had 3 dribbles of space available still. Whatever, man. Knock it down. Doesn't matter. Even Dirk's kind of like looking at him as he's walking from the bench like, yo, what are you doing? Like, all right, never mind. Never mind. Who am I to judge? You see the Nuggets defender like, what does he do? All right. Here's this fall away here, and Boston banks it into. I don't know how that's not an and one, dude. Marcus Smart trips over him. I get it, but he does crash into Luka as he's shooting. But Luka banks it in. There's his back-to-back blocks on LeBron. Get him! If you're not going to jump LeBron, if you're not going to go skyward for that, and you're just going to try and get lazy put-ins, the kid is going to swat your shit. Oh, my God. I love this shot. This was one of my favorite shots from Luka early in the season. This was when they went into Houston and just yammed on them. I want to say it was in the first 10 games of the season, certainly within the first 15. I like the little leg flip and kick he gives there. There it is. This kid is so freaking special, man. It's unreal. Here he is on Ingles. Get it. This was during the route, I think, early in the year for them. Yeah, Dirk's not playing yet, so I think this is when Dallas ran Utah out of the gym by 50, I think, early in the year, like straight up 50 points. Yeah, man. That's the thing, too. When people talk about Luka's three-point shooting, oh, there's the fake pass and freezes the defense. DeAndre nearly messes it up by blowing the assist, but it's all right. People talk about Luka's dropping percentages. I like Lopez's reaction. After the trades, they're like, oh, well, he ended up shooting, what was it, like 31, 32% from three. Not an amazing percentage by any means. I think it was 32. It's not an amazing percentage, but prior to, ooh, yams it on him. A little bit of an awkward fall. I don't like that, but, you know, you can't help it if the guy's going to fall through you. But people talk about that, but they don't acknowledge the fact that all of that, the drop in his percentages came. Oh, I loved this pass to Dennis. This is when I was still like, it can work between them. They're still friends. Dennis says as much, but it was not going to be a basketball fit here because Dennis is not the kind of player I guess Dallas wanted to build around, in that he is a kind of a volume scorer a little wild and everything in that regard. And I think once they found Luka, they were like, yeah, no, this is it. This is it. This is the initiator. And Dennis, if you want to be more of a secondary guy for us and a good defender, we're here for it. Otherwise, Now here's something from that play kind of frustrated me. Luka makes a ridiculous shot at the buzzer. Dennis left him out on an island to die there because he passes the ball to Luka with like a second left. 1.3 seconds left, knowing Luka has no choice but to take it. Luka still flips it in, and then you look at Dennis Smith Jr., he didn't even look that excited. He's just kind of like, oh, all right. Like, I think at that point, there's some level that was a little bit, I mean, that was his last game. That was the Dennis Smith triple-double. Look at this move. Such craftiness. I think that was at the end when Dennis Smith was just like, yeah, whatever. Maybe a little envious or jealous. Good God, that dunk. On Looney. Oof. But yeah, Luka's percentages, oh my God, dropped off because they had traded the other 4 starters in a course of, I'm going to get a couple comments in here while this loads, had traded 4 of their starters at the deadline because you had the Porzingis blockbuster, which obviously Porzingis didn't play the rest of the year, so it was shipping 3 of the guys out the door like that and not bringing them back. And then, a week later, maybe a little more than that, right before the deadline, you then send Harrison Barnes to Sacramento for Justin Jackson, who came in and was a nice little rotation player for you, but you haven't had a chance. You didn't get a chance to see it. It was Luka and the reserves. You know, we went from having a great bench to suddenly like, all right, well, none of those bench players have to be your starters, and they got exposed a little bit, and so it just kind of, it threw off the balance and the flow of the team. You saw Luka having to go up to like 42, 43 minutes a night throughout the last 29 games, and yeah, when you're doing that, when you have the wear and tear of a full season, your rookie year, where you're going to hit a little bit of a rookie wall anyway, and things like that, you're going to see as more shots have to be taken because you have to assume a larger responsibility over things, you're going to see certain things dip. That's going to include your field goal percentage. That's going to include your three-point percentage. It's going to impact you in all those ways. Even turnovers will tick up a little bit. But Luka, he was stellar. Yeah, a lot of his best moments came from before the All-Star break, I would say, but he still had flashes and he still had moments. That dunking on 2 Denver guys was in the latter part of the season. So he still had his moments. Absolutely. It's just a matter of when they came and keeping in context why his percentages slipped. Anyone who says, hey, he is the culmination of what those percentages say, aren't looking at the fact that before the All-Star break and the deadline and all that, he was shooting like 39% from 3. I mean, he was lights out before they had to ship out the rest of the starters, and suddenly all the scoring help, or at least the large portion of it, was gone. So I'm not worried about Luka in that regard. I think his three-point percentage will be probably something in the area of 36, 37% again this year. Maybe even a little bit better, marginally better than that. His field goal percentage, I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, probably something like 40%, 41%. I think he'll be better than that as well this year in year 2. And anyone who thinks otherwise, anyone who like trolls, like I haven't seen many people trolling on the Luka feed or on the channel for a while, but they insist like, no, that's what he did one season, his first season in the NBA, and he was already a pro before that, therefore it's not going to get any better. Like, what are you talking about? He has help now. He has guys that will space the floor and actually finish plays for him. So like the assist numbers should tick up, and he averaged 6 assists last year. It was 21 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, I want to say. I think I have that right. Yeah. I think he averages closer to 8 or 9 even assists a game if you're primarily running through him. So we'll see. But back to the clips.
This is all Luka here, just attacking in the open court.
Gets the and one on the tough finish reverse in transition. I like it. Trying to wrap him up. Zeller, you got to do better than that with that receding hairline. Game 1, the behind-the-back pass through the pick and roll to DeAndre Jordan for the dunk. Luka, no time on the shot clock, just enough to catch and shoot, knocks it down. What I like is he's always playing with a smile, it seems like. Like, there's almost no way that should go in with how quickly he pulls the trigger on the shot. Backhand alley-oop to Maxey. Very nice find.
Well, last minute, take a look.
They say last minute does Bob Ortigal there. He's staring down Maxey the whole way. He's basically with his eyes telling Maxey, go to the rim and go up. There's a dunk, or a block then on a Derek Favors dunk. That was during the blowout, I think. Whew. Such craftiness to finish that tough play. He had no business finishing that layup, but he did. He's not an explosive athlete. He's not super fast. 27, 9, and 6. He's not an explosive athlete. He's not particularly fast, but he's so crafty and has such understanding of how to play angles and how to create space within the confines of the rules. That's the kind of game that will age like a fine wine. That's in part what allowed Dirk. There's the fake on Gobert. But like Dirk's game wasn't built on his athleticism. That's why he aged like a fine wine, whereas someone like Kevin Garnett inevitably hit a wall and dropped off. To the point where at age 35, him dunking in a game got the Brooklyn Nets crowd up off its feet to cheer. And he's like, man, what the hell? I'm 6'10". You're going to get me, like, get excited just because I got a run-of-the-mill dunk? At that point in your career? Yeah, they are. Dirk at 36 was still averaging 16 points a game on 40+% shooting and still nearly got into the 50-40-90 club, I think, that year. So, yeah, it's night and day, man. Luka's game should age very well. Good lead pass, good finish by Powell. Rim running center, like I said. Luka with the bright colored shoes throws me. Good quick move, fluid spin move. This is Harrison Barnes now on the Kings, so it's late in the year. Yep, and one. Didn't get the call, but should have. There's Dennis driving, nearly crotches himself. Luka's going to hit one of his step-back threes. Boom! I don't know how Dennis didn't, like, tear his groin there. Luka hit more step-back threes last year than anybody not named James Harden. By like a mile. It was like James Harden by like 10 miles, and then Luka was 2, and then it was like another significant mile, mile and a half, whatever. God, that pass to the next guy, to the third place guy on the step back 3 list. It's a move that really only Harden and Luka incorporate into their game, and Luka does have some James Harden tendencies, so there's a lot to look forward to in that regard. Hard step back and buckets. Never pushes off, never does anything. Just perfect balance and an understanding of how to create the space. I love that one. I love how quick and fluid that is. And that's on Andrew Wiggins. Lagging up a little bit here. Let me give this a moment. Yeah, to anyone thinking about Andrew Wiggins on the team, I'm not interested. I know people are always going to talk about that. He's got a bloated-ass contract for a dude who has regressed in every year of his NBA career pretty much. So, not interested in that. I think there's a reason that Jimmy Butler in Philadelphia, or is in Philadelphia now and not still with the T-Wolves. It imploded, not just because of Wiggins, but to a lesser extent, Karl Anthony Towns, I think. But I think Wiggins was a big part of that. Just the lack of work ethic and the ineffectiveness.
Still with the same confidence and the same will to go out and play. That's one of his favorite moves too.
The Luka shrug. Step back. Get back. Buckets. It's almost amusing to hear how many different broadcasters have different pronunciations for Luka. You know, you could say part of it's accent or whatever, but you have guys on the national media who will cover it. You'll see Dončić. That was a LeBron thing. There's a block there, too. On Dang. Very.
Good anticipation.
Swats him on the layup. Crossover, step back, pull back, get back. That drew it to 1. Pretty impressive all the same. Those cherry red shoes with the white and blue just throws me, man. Now he's got like an orange on. It's like a, I don't even know what color you would call that. Fuchsia. Cauley Stein with the fallback. Fallback J.
Continue to say it. I like Luka on the inside. Couple of shot fades.
That is crazy craftiness. He's like under the backboard for most of that developing play there. No. Bump. Okay.
LA took advantage of that down the stretch.
Handoff with Dodo. Drives, fades, one hand flip. It's good. It's good.
And what I spoke was this guy will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Not afraid to say it again.
That is
Shots like that.
Darreck Harper there labeling Hall of Fame for Luka already. He's got the ability and he's got the potential, but let's hesitate on the anointing oil a little bit, guys. Luka flips it up and in on Boogie. Look at this.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is some serious strength to finish through Boogie Cousins hacking you like that. Pick and roll with Sala. What a find. Ooh. The vision is insane.
Watch this pass by Dončić. Excellent find.
Say Dončić?
Measury finishes it up.
There's a different pronunciation there, but that's a local guy. What the heck? Dončić. Nice find. Nice finish for Dwight Powell through the contact with the reverse layup. Millsap foul. There's so much potential with this crop of guys, man. It's crazy. Ooh, the fake. The hesitation look off. Yeah, man, there's a hell of a lot to like with this team. With Luka in particular, I think he is, as I said earlier, your unquestioned face of the franchise moving forward. His wingman, his Robin to his Batman, hence the wings, is Kristaps Porzingis. But I think it's Luka, man. There's no doubt. I think both are obviously untouchable. They want him here. You know, Cuban joked at, I guess it wasn't so much a joke. Cuban acknowledged at the Porzingis introduction press conference that, you know, his mistake was breaking up Dirk and Nash, that he should have kept them together much longer. And so he wants to keep Luka and KP together for the next 20 years. I think he threw out the 20 years thing because Dirk's in year 21, and he basically meant to say, you know, the entirety of their career. They're both young enough. But KP's 23, so you're telling me you're going to have him at year 43? I don't think so. Luka at 40, maybe. It worked for Dirk, you know, it broke right. So you just got to see. But the idea is he wants to keep them together a long time. But if push came to shove, there's one guy. You know, Cuban turned down a trade for Shaq back in 2004 or 2005 because the Lakers wanted Dirk in return. So with that understanding, yeah, Dirk was the ultimate untouchable, that for a generational dominant force of nature like Shaq, who still had, you know, 3 or 4 years left in the tank of domination, Cuban said no because he saw the bigger picture when it came to Dirk. And I think if push came to shove, he would do the same with Luka. He would say no. If you offered a LeBron now, if you offered something like that, a guy who's got 3 or 4 more years at most of dominant play left in him and, you know, top 10 player in the league kind of status, I think he would say no if it was for Luka. Would he do that for Porzingis? Maybe, but it would just depend on circumstances. And I think if either of them would be hypothetically even obtainable or touchable, so to speak, it would be KP of the mix. And that's not a shot at KP. That's just to say Luka is it. Luka is the everything for this team. He is the new era Dirk in terms of how they are going to build around him and the kind of status that they give him and that they envision for him. So if they can keep him for, you know, throughout his career, if they can keep him locked into max deals and build around him successfully to the point where he's not frustrated and wants to go elsewhere to build, great. They have a serious game changer for them. I think it'll go well, though. I think that there is little to no doubt that they will have him even after his rookie deal's over. They'll get him on a max deal then. It'll be the richest contract signed at that point in Mavericks history. Right now, KP inking the 5-year, $158 million contract this past summer, earlier this summer, I should say, is the current richest deal in Mavericks history. Luka, when his rolls around in 3 years or whatever, he'll pass that. I have no doubts. In fact, he might not even wait the 3 full years. I don't know. But Luka's going to get paid, and it's going to be monumental money at that point. And I think he's worth it. I absolutely do. I think this team is headed in the right direction. And as much as it sucked watching Dirk ride off into the sunset, the timing of Luka's arrival and the KP acquisition was perfect, because it was like Dirk didn't leave until there were very capable hands to pass off the franchise to. So that's cool. But it's going to be a blast watching this season, man. I can't wait. We are like a month away from the season. I think a month and like 4 days away from the season. So once things get going, we're going to be doing a whole lot of streaming, a lot of Mavs Fast Break, some game companions, some live remotes, you name it. We're going to roll it out this season. So that's all my time for this one, guys. Until next time, as I say, time in close vicinity. Until next time, remember, every legend was once a prospect. Salute.